Imagine the roar of the engine as a small airplane accelerates down the runway, the vibrations pulsing through the fuselage and into your bones. The anticipation builds with every passing second, the world outside blurring as the aircraft picks up speed. The sun glints off the wings, casting long shadows across the tarmac, and for a brief moment, time seems to slow. This is the threshold between earth and sky, where the dream of flight becomes reality, and every sense is heightened in anticipation of what's to come. The smell of aviation fuel hangs thick in the air, a sharp, unmistakable scent that signals the promise of adventure. It's a fragrance that evokes memories for seasoned pilots and stirs excitement in newcomers. Each drop of fuel is potential energy, waiting to be unleashed, a reminder that flight is as much about preparation as it is about execution. The ritual of fueling is a quiet moment of connection between pilot and machine, a final check before the symphony begins. Before the engine even starts, the pilot moves methodically around the aircraft, eyes scanning for anything out of place. Every bolt, every surface, every line is checked and double-checked. This careful attention to detail is the overture to the flight, setting the stage for what's to come. It's a moment of respect for the forces at play, and for the machine that will soon carry you skyward. The pilot, with a steady hand on the controls, guides the aircraft faster and faster, feeling the surge of power as the throttle is advanced. The engine responds with a deep, resonant growl, propelling the airplane forward. The wheels skim the runway, and then, almost imperceptibly, the earth falls away. The aircraft lifts gracefully into the sky, leaving the world below in a rush of wind and possibility. In that instant, the pilot is both conductor and audience, orchestrating a delicate balance between power and finesse. This exhilarating moment, this dance between man and machine, is the culmination of countless hours of training, preparation, and trust. It's a partnership built on understanding and respect, where every movement is deliberate and every decision matters. The climb into the sky is not just a physical act, but an emotional one, a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of flight. Here, in the open air, the pilot becomes part of something greater, carried aloft by a harmonious symphony of power, precision, and constant vigilance. And at the heart of it all lies a critical set of instruments, the engine gauges, silently whispering vital information about the heart of your flying machine. These gauges are more than just numbers and needles, they are the pulse of the aircraft, offering real-time feedback on the health and performance of the engine. Oil pressure, temperature, RPM, all must be monitored with care, for they reveal the inner workings of the engine and provide early warnings of trouble. These instruments aren't just dials and needles, they are your window into the engine's soul, telling a story of power, performance, and potential problems. Each flicker of a needle, each subtle change in a gauge, is a message from the heart of the aircraft. The pilot learns to read these signs, to interpret the language of the engine, and to respond with skill and intuition. It's a relationship built on trust and understanding, where the instruments become an extension of the pilot's senses. Mastery of these gauges is not achieved overnight. It comes from experience, from listening to the engine's rhythm, and from knowing what is normal and what is not. The checklist becomes a trusted companion, guiding the pilot through each phase of flight. Adjustments to the mixture, throttle, and propeller are made with precision, each one a note in the ongoing symphony of flight. The pilot listens, not just with ears but with every sense, attuned to the subtle cues that signal the engine's needs. Mastering them is not just about knowing how the engine works, it's about understanding its language, its subtle cues, and its warnings. It's about developing an instinct for when something is amiss, and the confidence to act decisively when it matters most. The cockpit becomes a place of focus and clarity, where distractions fade and the pilot's attention is fixed on the instruments that hold the key to a safe and successful flight. It's about becoming a true pilot, one who not only commands the aircraft but also listens to its every breath. In this symphony of power, the pilot is both artist and engineer, blending technical skill with intuition and care. To fly is to join a tradition of aviators who have learned to trust their machines, to respect the forces of nature, and to find beauty in the harmony between man and engine. This is the essence of flight, a symphony that plays out every time a pilot takes to the sky. Every pilot, from seasoned captains with thousands of hours in the logbook to eager students taking their very first lesson, understands that safe flying hinges on a thorough understanding of the engine instruments. These instruments are the pilot's window into the heart of the aircraft, offering real-time feedback on how the engine is performing at every stage of flight. Whether you're preparing for takeoff, climbing to cruising altitude, or making a smooth descent, your ability to interpret what these gauges are telling you can make all the difference between a routine flight and a potential emergency. Engine instruments are not mere decorations in the cockpit. They are the guardians of your flight, providing a constant stream of data about the engine's health, power output, and overall performance. Each dial, needle, and digital readout serves a specific purpose, from monitoring oil pressure and temperature to tracking RPM and fuel flow. When you glance at these instruments, you're not just checking numbers, you're actively managing the safety and efficiency of your flight. A sudden change in oil temperature or a drop in manifold pressure can be the first sign of trouble, giving you precious time to react before a minor issue becomes a major problem. Ignoring these instruments is like flying blindfolded. Without their guidance, you're left guessing about the condition of your engine, and that's a risk no pilot should ever take. Imagine trying to navigate a busy highway with your eyes closed. Flying without monitoring your engine instruments is just as dangerous. The consequences of missing a warning sign can range from reduced engine performance to complete engine failure, putting both you and your passengers in jeopardy. By keeping a watchful eye on these gauges, you can detect potential problems early on, prevent costly repairs, and most importantly, ensure the safety of yourself and your passengers. Early detection of issues like abnormal cylinder head temperatures or fluctuating oil pressure allows you to take corrective action before the situation escalates. This proactive approach not only extends the life of your engine but also helps you avoid unexpected maintenance bills and unscheduled landings. For flight instructors, teaching students to develop this habit is one of the most important lessons in aviation safety. Efficient flying, too, relies heavily on interpreting engine instruments. By understanding what each gauge is telling you, you can fine-tune your power settings, mixture, and propeller controls to achieve the best possible performance. This not only makes your flight smoother and more enjoyable, but it also helps you get the most out of every drop of fuel. By understanding how fuel consumption relates to engine performance, you can optimize your flight, save money, and reduce your environmental impact. Careful monitoring and adjustment of the engine instruments allow you to fly more economically, reduce wear and tear on your engine, and minimize your carbon footprint. In the end, mastering your engine instruments isn't just about following procedures, it's about becoming a safer, smarter, and more responsible pilot every time you take to the skies. When you settle into the cockpit and glance at the instrument panel, you're greeted by a dazzling array of dials, needles, and digital readouts. But among all these, 3 instruments stand out as the essential guardians of your engine's health and performance: the RPM gauge, also known as the tachometer, the oil pressure gauge, and the manifold pressure gauge. These 3 are not just numbers on a dial. They are your direct line of communication with the heart of your aircraft, providing real-time feedback on how your engine is operating and alerting you to any potential issues before they become serious problems. Each of these instruments plays a unique and vital role. The RPM gauge, oil pressure gauge, and manifold pressure gauge work together to give you a comprehensive picture of your engine's status, much like a doctor uses a stethoscope, blood pressure cuff, and thermometer to assess a patient's health. By monitoring these 3, you can quickly spot irregularities, make informed decisions, and ensure your flight remains safe and efficient. Think of them as the 3 musketeers of engine health, each with its own specialty, but all working together to keep your engine running smoothly. The RPM gauge, for instance, is often the most prominent and frequently checked. It tells you exactly how fast the engine's crankshaft is spinning, measured in revolutions per minute. This is more than just a number, it's the rhythm of your engine. The pulse that tells you if it's working too hard, idling too low, or operating right where it should be. Pilots rely on the RPM gauge during every phase of flight, from takeoff to cruise to landing, adjusting the throttle and propeller controls to maintain optimal performance and efficiency. The RPM gauge is especially critical in aircraft with variable pitch propellers, where managing engine speed independently from power output is essential. By keeping a close eye on the RPM, you can avoid engine overspeed, which can cause excessive wear or even catastrophic failure. It's also a key tool for troubleshooting. Sudden drops or spikes in RPM can indicate issues like propeller malfunctions, fuel delivery problems, or ignition troubles. Next, the oil pressure gauge is your window into the engine's lubrication system. Oil is the lifeblood of any engine, reducing friction, carrying away heat, and preventing metal parts from grinding against each other. The oil pressure gauge tells you if oil is circulating at the correct pressure, ensuring every moving part is protected. Low oil pressure can be an early warning sign of leaks, worn bearings, or even impending engine failure, while high oil pressure might indicate a blockage or a faulty pressure relief valve. That's why pilots check oil pressure not just during flight, but also during pre-flight inspections and engine startup. Finally, the manifold pressure gauge is a key indicator of engine power output, especially in aircraft equipped with constant speed propellers or turbocharged engines. It measures the absolute pressure of the fuel-air mixture inside the engine's intake manifold, giving you direct feedback on how much power the engine is producing. By coordinating manifold pressure with RPM, you can fine-tune engine performance, maximize efficiency, and avoid dangerous conditions like detonation or pre-ignition. In essence, these three instruments, RPM, oil pressure, and manifold pressure, form the foundation of safe and effective engine management, helping you fly with confidence and peace of mind. Now that we've met the key players, let's delve into what their readings actually mean. The RPM gauge, with its needle dancing across a numbered dial, gives you a direct indication of how hard your engine is working. A higher RPM typically means more power, like when you're climbing or accelerating. The oil pressure gauge, often featuring a needle pointing within a colored arc, tells a story of lubrication and engine health. A healthy engine will show the needle comfortably within the green arc, indicating adequate oil pressure. The manifold pressure gauge, usually marked in inches of mercury, reflects the power being demanded from the engine. Higher manifold pressure generally means you're asking for more power. Learning to read engine instruments is like learning a new language, the language of colors, needles, and numbers. Each gauge speaks to you through its unique combination of these elements. The colors, often green, yellow, and red, act as visual cues, instantly alerting you to normal, cautionary, or critical conditions. The needles, swinging back and forth like conductors' batons, point to specific values on the dial, indicating the current state of the engine parameter being measured. And finally, the numbers themselves provide a quantitative measure, allowing you to track even subtle changes in engine performance.